Okay, let's talk about what we consider some small ancillary units that if you want to add, pretty much you can add any of these at any time to your pieces, to your home gym setup. And these all, some will have some one-time uses, but others can have a multi-use option. So the first one I always usually recommend is basically an ab mat. So here's some of our ab mats right down through here. Now I'm going to show you two. We have a basic one, then we have this brand new extended one. Now both these I picked up from Rogue just because these things are made to take a beating. Commercial use, which will give you an idea, they are really made to take a beating on this one. An ab mat, what it is done for is it's something that if you're having trouble with sit-ups, this actually fills up, see if you can't scoot back a little bit, the small of your back right through here, and takes a lot of pressure for people that are doing a sit-up. If you're noticing that your low back starts hurting, that's when this comes into play. I do recommend this. This can run you anywhere. Rogue is about 35 bucks from Rogue. This one right through here ran about $40. And what this is, why you see this little setup, is called a wisecrack. So basically, if you've done a lot of ab mat sit-ups and you notice that your tailbones start getting a little rubbed raw on the mat or on the ground, this is when this option comes into play. About 45 bucks for this one, but an ab mat is a great option, especially for really any home gym setup. Very inexpensive, does some really good stuff. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is going to be a kettlebell. Now, I'm going to show you a couple different kettlebell options right down through here. So kettlebell, which we got medicine ball, which I'll cover that in a second. So kettlebell right down through here, the great thing about kettlebell is, again, it's the original dumbbell. I'll do a whole separate system video on the kettlebells, but it's the original dumbbell. Basically, guys, it is a cannonball with a handle. But this, the amount of exercises and complexes, which exercise movements you can compete together, are limitless. In fact, I've even argued in some cases that a kettlebell, if you have a little bit of experience under your belt, a kettlebell can replace a dumbbell in a lot of cases. There's a lot of things you can do about it. The only thing that is the disadvantage of a kettlebell is they can be a little pricey, and if you're going for different weights, they can take some big weight jumps. You're going to expect to spend about $1.25 per pound on the kettlebell, up to about 50 pounds. You start getting over 50 pounds, it can go into the excess of $1.50, $1.75, and you start to go heavier than that. So I'm going to recommend, when it comes down to kettlebells, of course, I'm always going to recommend Rogue. They actually have a good one, and Rep Fitness has a fantastic kettlebell. You're going to also hear one called Kettlebell Kings. Kettlebell Kings, they do great kettlebell options. They're durable. They've got a good grip to them. I'm always going to talk about that, especially the grip option. What you may notice with a cheaper one is, let's see if you can't see this a little bit. You see how smooth this is right down through here. The problem is when it gets smooth, it's very easy to slip out of your hands if you're not careful. So go for one that's got a decent grip. You can't go wrong with the kettlebell. And for size-wise, when you're kind of looking on what's a good size to start with, 12 kilos, she's about 24, 25 pounds, is a good starting bell. 12 kilo, 16 kilo, 20 kilo. Those three right there, you can do an amazing amount of setup with stuff, amazing amount of workouts with that. That is something that you definitely can do with those. If you want to start out with a kettlebell, go for it. Start out with, if you've never done it before, just to learn, a 12 kilo bell will be a great starting point, and you can escalate from there pretty fast. All right, let's talk about your next one, which is another one that it's not a medicine ball, so people that are thinking about this. It's going to be actually a mat. Yes, a mat. Just because you don't always want to lay on the ground. You don't always want to lay on that ground. Sometimes you basically want a mat. Guys, there's nothing special about a mat. You don't need to worry about having to buy a particular kind of mat. Just get a damn mat. This one I picked up from a website called Perform Better. In fact, Perform Better has about everything you do see down through here. I'm just a little biased towards it. Perform Better has great equipment. They do good quality stuff. You can pick this up from Perform Better. I'm just going to tell you, pick up something from Amazon, but I will say this, make sure that if you do find a mat, it's at least got, I believe this one is close to at least a 1/4 inch of padding. Try not to get a yoga mat, which tends to be very flat, because yoga mats are better for grip and proximity. But if you want to look for something that's got a little bit of padding, at least look for 1/4 inch of padding. Price-wise, you can be anywhere from $10 to $40. Great option, something you can add in if you plan on doing a lot of groundwork. Now, what I've just shown through here is just as of right now, these are some good options to get you started. And of course, for those people talking about, what about a med ball? Should I get a med ball? Now, guys, you can get a med ball, and a med ball is a great option. They are very cheap. Well, not very cheap, but they're not cost effective. You can run about 50, 60 bucks for a decent ball. For people that are asking what is a good size med ball to use, 16 pounds, 20 pounds will be the best one to do. Medicine balls that you see through here, they're actually stuffed with rags. So, and they do a lot of good stuff if you're looking for a lot of different options on this one. When you start getting into a med ball, there's a lot of good stuff that you can do with it. We don't specialize a whole lot in med ball work here, but it's something you can get. I would probably consider it something you don't have to get just yet. But if you do get one, you find a good deal on one, run you anywhere from about 50 bucks to 100 bucks, depending on the weight of the med ball. I would say 16 pounds and 20 pounds is a good option to get you started. So guys, that is gonna be covering what I consider a lot of just fun essentials that you kind of get going through this one. In the next video, we'll be talking about some miscellaneous things that you just may not have thought about when it comes to building your own home gym and things to take in consideration.